Hello everybody and welcome to Tiger Tales, a place where you'll find stories and fanfictions written and read to you by your host, me, Tai Tiger. Today we're diving back into my Digimon Tamers 2 storyline, which is kind of a mix of all different Digimon, since I didn't exactly know which one just do, and Tamers just seems to be the most noticeable in this story. So, in the last chapter, or the first chapter shall we say, we met Sebastian and his partner Armadillomon, and it turns out that one thing he can do is take out rogue Digimon. They also met Lyle and his partner Kotamon, but it turns out Sebastian and Lyle had used to know each other. They used to be friends. And in this chapter, we're going to dive more into their story. So, without further ado, let's dive in with Digimon Tamers 2. Worlds Collide. Chapter 2. Digital Confusion. Sebastian and Lyle walked out of the restaurant, Kotamon and Armadillomon following behind them. They walked down the road, chatting. So, Data Squad, how's that working for you? Like, actually working? Sebastian asked with a cocky grin.
Well, everyone is nice, but I get put by myself a lot, so it's just me and Kotamon.
Lyle sighed. I gotta admit, you still manage to look like a dork, Sebastian mocked.
Says you, tramp.
Lyle chuckled. Both the boys stopped when suddenly two motorcycles came flying towards them and came to a sudden halt. Both the motorcyclists climbed off and removed their helmets. Lyle, you're needed back at HQ, one of them barked.
What are you two doing here?
Lyle muttered. You went off again and got into a Digimon battle without backup or authorization, the other one snapped.
We had to help.
Kotamon piped up. Shut it, Digimon. One snapped at the Digimon. I don't think I like your attitude, Sebastian butted in. Lyle, who's this? One of them asked.
This is Sebastian. He helped me defeat the rogue Digimon.
Lyle explained. Sebastian looked at Lyle with a raised eyebrow. Who the hell is the Moody Twins? Sebastian asked Lyle.
These two work for Data Squad, Connor and Rita.
Lyle sighed. These guys work with you? Sebastian asked, shocked. Lyle, come on, the one known as Connor barked. Hey, pack it in, or else you're gonna have to deal with me, Sebastian retorted.
Seb, back off. I broke the rules. I should have not dived in. Me and Kotamon are not active agents, and we are not allowed to fight rogue Digimon.
Lyle sighed. But dude, Sebastian started, but Lyle lifted his hand to silence him. Lyle then walked over to the duo, then turned around to face Seb.
Wait for my call, okay?
Lyle told him. Okay, fine, Sebastian nodded. Kotamon then followed Lyle.
See you around, Armadillomon?
Kotamon said solemnly. See you, Kotamon, Armadillomon replied. They both climbed onto the two bikes, holding on to Connor and Rita. Then they both drove off, leaving Sebastian and Armadillomon alone on the street. We should go home now, Sebastian, Armadillomon suggested. Yeah, it's getting pretty late, Sebastian sighed. They both walked home. They walked into the house. Lucky for Seb, his parents weren't home. Armadillomon returned back to the digital world, and Sebastian got himself something to eat and then fell asleep. Armadillomon returned to the digital world. He strolled through the forest and ended up on the beach. He then found a human car. Half of it, anyway. The other half was phased into the ground, some form of data coating rippling off the vehicle. Half a car? That's kind of strange, Armadillomon muttered to himself. He then carried on walking across the beach, happy as Larry, and found a red phone box, also halfly phased into the ground, with the same data coding rippling off of it. The multicoloured portal opened, and a workbench slid out of the portal and then closed before it could all come through. So the table was also cut in half, leaving data code rippling off of it. Armadillomon ran up to the table and then stood there in shock. Suddenly, an Ikakimon came running out of the bridge. Hey, Ikakimon, what the hell's going on? Armadillomon asked. It's after me, Ikakimon screamed. What is? Armadillomon called out. Then suddenly, another portal opened and swallowed up the pencil-shaped Digimon. It then closed, leaving no trace at all. Wait, what? Armadillomon called out. Sebastian woke up and saw his computer screen flashing at him. He walked up to it and saw the 8-bit Armadillomon stood there. He pressed the code on his keyboard and Armadillomon appeared next to him. What's so urgent, dude? Sebastian muttered, still half asleep. We have a problem, Armadillomon snapped. Then Armadillomon told him about the beach, the strange objects from the human world phased into the digital world, then the Ikakimon that turned up and was swallowed by a portal. Whoa, that's heavy, Sebastian sighed. We have to do something, right? Armadillomon asked. Yeah, man, chill out. We can talk to Lyle. Maybe the data squad knows something, Sebastian told him with an eye roll. He then knelt down and stroked Armadillomon's chin. Okay, we better get going then, Armadillomon sighed. Sebastian nodded, and then got dressed. They both headed downstairs to find his mother in the kitchen. Well, hello, Sebastian. Oh, and Armadillomon, you're here too. His mother grinned. Hey, Mrs. T, Armadillomon cheered. She pet Sebastian on the cheek and then carried on cooking. What are you two up to today, then? His mother asked. Actually, we're gonna go talk to Lyle, Sebastian confessed. Oh, wow. That's a name I haven't heard in a while, his mother said with a small grin. Yeah, he's in town, and I kinda need him for something, Sebastian shrugged. Maybe you can invite him over. Oh, and Kotamon, his mother replied. Sure, I can see what happens. I'll be back soon, okay? Sebastian said. Okay, honey, see you later, his mother called out as he started walking away. See you, Mrs. T, Armadillomon said. Look out for him, okay? She smiled at the Digimon. Always do, Mrs. T. Armadillomon nodded. Then he chased after Sebastian. Sebastian and Armadillomon walked around the back alley routes. Most people knew about Digimon by this point, but Sebastian did not want to bring attention to Armadillomon. They came out of the back alleys and ended up by the laundrette. Sebastian and Armadillomon then saw a bunch of people running away and screaming. Then Connor and Rita flew past with a Digimon on the back of one of the motorcycles. That's Connor and Rita. We've got to follow them, Sebastian snapped. Why? 'Cause of the screaming people? Armadillomon asked. Call it curiosity, Sebastian shrugged. Then they both ran after the motorcycles. They stopped to see Connor and his Digimon. It was a bear stood on his hind legs with a blue cap on his head, which was backwards, and had blue straps around his paws. That's a Bearmon, Armadillomon told him. Then Armadillomon clicked on Bearmon's opponent, the pencil with arms and legs. Ikakimon, Armadillomon called out. What is it? Sebastian asked. That's the Digimon from the beach in the digital world, Armadillomon explained. The Armadillomon Digimon now was dazed and slightly confused. They watched as Bearmon dived at Ikakimon and swung his fist at Ikakimon with all its strength, but the opponent Digimon jumped back and dodged the attack. Then it pointed at Bearmon and a rainbow blast erupted from his fingertips and the beam hit Bearmon, throwing him off his feet. Ah, Bearmon, be more careful, Connor called out. We should have brought both our Digimon, Rita barked. Shut it, we've got this, Connor snapped back. He then pulled out his Digivice. Excuse me, Sebastian said, walking past the duo, Armadillomon walking next to him. What are you doing here? Rita asked him. I'm here to help, Sebastian muttered with an eye roll. He pulled out his D-Arc and a card. Digimodify! Cooper Spikes! Sebastian called out as he swiped the card, and suddenly Armadillomon's shell turned all blue, and spikes formed over his shell. He then ran at Ikakimon and jumped forward, leaning towards him, aiming his spike shell forward, hitting Ikakimon dead on, forcing the Digimon to stumble back. Then Ikakimon pointed his fingers and blasted a beam at a car, which exploded. All three humans and Armadillomon covered their faces. Then, as they turned to face Ikakimon once more, he was gone. In a flash of light, the Digimodify vanished. Nice job, man, Sebastian said, as Armadillomon bounded up to him. You should not have intervened, Connor barked, grabbing Sebastian by the collar. Really? Because me and Armadillomon did more damage in one fell swoop than you and Coda over here did in a few minutes, Sebastian grunted. Why did you get involved? Connor's twin sister asked, over Connor's shoulder. Armadillomon has information, Sebastian growled. Connor let go of Sebastian. He took a step back and sorted out his collar. About the Digimon? Rita asked, confused. Yes, but I have conditions, Sebastian replied. "Oh yeah, what's that?" Connor growled. "I'll only talk to Lyle," Sebastian barked back. The duo looked at each other, then looked at Sebastian, who stood there with a stern look. Armadillomon looked up at Sebastian with a grin. And there we have it, guys. This one is a short one. Again, I do apologise, but I'm still building the storyline here. If you've enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit this video with a like. Let's talk about the partners of Tiger Tales. We have, of course, Mark the Red Cornish Ranger with his comic book adaptations, his Power Rangers storyline, Royal Britannia, and of course you can find some of my storylines on his podcast too, called Nursery Comics. Then you have Cosplay Dude 637, my Power Tie, and his many podcasts with Storytime with Cosplay Dude 637, Power Rangers Universe 19, Sailor Moon E, and his YouTube channel known as Story Family 67 Nostalgia Storytime. And all of them combined, you'll find stories like Sword Art Online, Shadow Hunters, Power Rangers, Ultra Rangers, Kamen Rider, Wizard, Sailor Moon, and he's just started a He-Man on his YouTube channel. So make sure you go follow all of them as well. We are in association with the Zero to Hero podcast, a podcast where we have Billy and Jim, the Balkan Scholar of Podcasting, and they host an amazing podcast where they don't just talk about Power Rangers, but they also talk about many other fandoms that are barrel of laughs, and it's a fun podcast to listen to when you're doing your editing, for an example, like I do. Don't forget to check out our voice actor on TikTok. There's Kronos, and he's absolutely awesome. I can't wait to carry on working with him. That being said, don't forget to check out our brother channel, Tiger Tales, The Lost Stories, which the big key difference over there is it's first person perspective only storylines, with a big twist on the term fanfiction. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. That being said, I shall see you guys really soon.